While I babble about what happened to our dearly departed Osmo Pocket, we will be showing you a collection of our favorite footage from this tiny but capable camera. Yes, that's right. Our Osmo Pocket broke. And broke our hearts along with it. But don't worry, this is not a sob story. There will be no drama today, but we will just talk about possible reasons why the Osmo Pocket broke. And by broke, I don't mean that it's broken into pieces. I mean that it's no longer working. It's just dead. In case you're wondering what happened, we were just out on a ride and the Osmo was recording handheld, not connected to a phone and not mounted on any tripod or selfie stick. And about 1 minute, I swear it was really right after turning it on, I felt the Osmo Pocket heat up quickly, but it did that sometimes. Oh no, it did that often. So I didn't think it was a serious problem at the time, but then the menu settings just flashed on the screen and started scrolling up by itself for a few seconds before the screen went black, even though the camera was still on. At that time, I just thought maybe it just needed time to cool down. However, 20 minutes later, after the Osmo had cooled down, we tried turning it on and the camera still powered on, but the back screen still showed nothing and it would not turn off. I mean, when we turned it off, it would immediately power back on by itself. Yeah, it was at this point that my heart slowly started shattering into 1,000 pieces. A process that took a few days because it took me that long to realize that it was, well, and truly dead. I know, I said no drama, but I just wanted to explain that the Osmo Pocket was our only video camera besides our smartphones. And as beginners, it was our tiny but capable tool for making the videos we liked to make. It was our little David that could somewhat match the other Goliaths, you know what I mean? And I remember back in 2020 when I was looking around for a budget camera that could take decent enough videos, I was so happy to stumble upon the Osmo Pocket 1 because outside of mirrorless cameras, it seemed like the most affordable option among those capable of taking 4K video. And in late 2020 when I found it, the price had just been newly reduced because DJI had just released the Osmo Pocket 2. I mean the DJI Pocket 2. So I guess they were simply getting rid of old stocks of the Pocket 1. So I was able to purchase it for half its original price, and that was the start of our adventures with the Osmo Pocket. Anyway, getting back to our intended topic, which is why did the Osmo Pocket fail? Well, I've got 3 possible reasons here lined up for you. And the first reason is some good old self-blaming. Reason number 1 is perhaps I've got the hands of Hercules. I mean, I am known to break things. Do you know what Ryan calls me? He calls me a brute. For that matter, I call him a princess. And yes, of course, we say those things to each other as a joke, but those words are really kind of fitting. Because between the two of us, he is the more graceful one. While for me, well, I'm the bulldozer who keeps bumping into things and clumsily breaking stuff. On the day that the Osmo Pocket broke, perhaps I was gripping it too tightly or handling it too roughly. I don't know. Related to this, I've actually dropped the Osmo Pocket pretty badly once on gravel and badly scratched the lens. So our Osmo Pocket actually has a battle scar on its lens right there on the front glass, and that happened just a few weeks after we got it, even though it was thankfully not visible in the videos taken after it got dropped. So yeah, me being Hercules could be reason number 1 for the Osmo Pocket up and dying. before I talk about the second possible reason for the camera dying, may I ask if you're liking our collection of footage so far? If you do, we would really appreciate it if you could comment or throw us a thumbs up. Anyway, what you're looking at now are some videos we have of Halsima Highway or the Baguio Bontoc Road. The funny thing is, most of these videos of Halsima are still unpublished on YouTube because I'm a serial procrastinator and waited till the camera broke before thinking of making a best footage compilation like this. So yeah, take it from me. Don't do that. Don't wait. On to reason number 2, which is we probably pushed the camera too far. I mean, beyond its intended or recommended purpose. Now that I look back, I realize that the Osmo Pocket is likely not built to withstand the pressures of motovlogging, where it's exposed to strong winds, hot sun, and moisture. Speaking of moisture, our Osmo Pocket got exposed to rainy weather at least twice or perhaps 3 times. And by rainy weather, I mean pouring rain. Well, of course, we did not use the camera actively in pouring rain. Like when we encountered rain on the road, we would keep it inside a case and then inside of a water-resistant bag. But you know how moisture really seeps into clothing and bags, and we've found out that the Osmo Pocket is pretty much like a sponge. Like, it would easily absorb any moisture there is in its surroundings, likely through that big ass vent at the back of the camera. Yes, you guessed it. What you're seeing now is one of those rare occasions when the Osmo Pocket got exposed to really bad weather. And this was actually our our yet unpublished ride to Tinok highest point. I mean, to the new highest point found along the Tinok Pugyas Road. And we were kind of unlucky here because when we went on this ride, we ran into stormy weather. It felt like a typhoon. Like we were riding against typhoon strength winds by the time we were up there. And I'm just showing you the parts where there was just a bit of a drizzle and I was still trying to shoot with the Osmo Pocket. Like I had my hand above it, but of course there was very strong winds, and yeah, obviously that wasn't good for the camera at all. That leads us to reason number 3, which is the Osmo Pocket just may simply be a fragile camera by itself. I know I said I've dropped it and yet it kept working, and I've heard other users claim the same thing, but I've also read some users' experiences where the Osmo Pocket just died for no reason, or that the device arrived dead. DOA, dead on arrival, at their doorstep. In actual fact, when I emailed the official service center of DJI in the Philippines and got directed to their schedule page, right there on the page were the policy terms and conditions for DOA, or dead on arrival items. The fact that they have laid out specific policies like these imply that these cases happen pretty regularly, which again reinforces the idea that these devices break frequently for both known and unknown reasons. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing it, but I'm just pointing out a characteristic that is perhaps part and parcel of the Osmo Pocket. I mean, it is what it is. Because the Osmo Pocket is a camera gimbal in a very small package that works in a delicate way, of course it's kind of expected that it would have delicate parts. So what makes it effective in getting nice, stable videos despite having a mini size is also what makes it a device very prone to damage, you know? And yes, it was only when the Osmo Pocket failed that I came to these realizations. I know It's stupid. I should have gotten to know my equipment first, but I guess I did the process backwards and it cost me. So there, those are 3 possible reasons for why our Osmo Pocket died.
I'll be there in 15, baby, you know you got me. You got me. Wish you knew me at 19, back then I wasn't talking to it.
If you're a DJI user, you're probably asking, didn't you have DJI Care or the Osmo Shield? So FYI, DJI Care or the Osmo Shield is a 2-year warranty or service plan that you have to buy from DJI, so it's not free. And if in the 2 years of coverage your device fails or needs repair, then DJI may replace or repair your device with no additional charge, as long as it's within the terms of the service plan. And the answer to that question is no. Like many other DJI users, we only came to understand the significance of DJI Care when our device died. So I mentioned a while ago that we had contacted DJI to inquire about repairs, and we were given a link to their website page that lists the prices of replacement parts. This was very helpful, but gave us another sucker punch. So here you can see the list on the screen, and here are the component parts. If we assumed that the core board is toast, because it obviously overheated and we have a blackout screen, that costs $151, which is roughly equivalent to $8,500 at current exchange rates in 2022. If we add the gimbal and camera module over here, this is unlikely, though it's still possible, then that's another $146 or 8,200 pesos. And service is not free. That would be another $65, equivalent to 3,600 pesos. So that's an assumed total of $362 or over 20,000 pesos, which is really the cost of a new one. And we haven't even added shipping fees yet. If we remove the cost of repair for the gimbal camera module, we'd still get a total of $216 or over 12,000 pesos. I think you'd agree that it does not make sense to have it repaired and just save the money for another camera, which we did, but that's a vlog for another day. The story doesn't end here, however, because by the stroke of luck, or maybe not, depends on what you think. By the stroke of luck, we just happened to see an Osmo Pocket being sold on Facebook Marketplace. The seller described the item as new, and the price was reasonable, and I was able to haggle or make tawad, as we Pinoys like to call it. So, yeah, now we got a second chance to shoot with the Osmo Pocket again. I know it's probably a stupid decision, but now we kind of know better what the limits of this camera are, and hopefully we will know how to maximize it without pushing it to the point of destruction. So I'd like to end this video with a few personal takeaways, both about Osmo Pocket and other things in general. First takeaway would be, treat the Osmo Pocket as a piece of equipment with a use-by date. In other words, assume an expiration date if you have this camera, and make sure to use it productively before that expiration date. Like I said, it is fragile. It's a gimbal with many moving parts that would suffer from wear and tear. It's got delicate motors that are prone to overheating when overworked. Obviously, it's not going to last as long as the analog camera that you inherited from your grandpa. Second takeaway would be, make sure to store it in a dry place when not in use. More importantly, don't let it go unused for weeks and weeks and then suddenly bring it out when you remember. And just to come clean, before the Osmo Pocket broke, we actually haven't used it for around 2 or 3 weeks either. And that state of disuse would usually destroy delicate electronic devices. If you can afford to have a storage box with desiccant, you know, those absorbent beads that you see inside medicine bottles, if you can store your camera with desiccant to absorb moisture, that would be a good idea too. Lastly, things and people will leave us even when we still need them. I already mentioned a while ago not to wait, and by that I meant don't wait till something or someone is gone before you get jolted into action. Everything is transient. Do what you can do and do it now. I also mentioned that I'm a serial procrastinator, but here, I'd like to revise that. I'm gonna say I'm a recovering procrastinator. And if you have the same problem as me, tell yourself that. You were, past tense, you were a procrastinator, but now you're trying to change that. Thank you if you stayed till the end of yet another long video. If you're a DJI user and have any violent reactions about anything we said, please feel free to write them down below. Any other comments are welcome too, whether it's questions about the footage that we have in this video or perhaps suggestions about where you'd like us to go. We would welcome any of that, and we sincerely appreciate those who have left comments from time to time. So it's time to say goodbye for now, and see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.